Hello students. Now in this video, I will take you through the steps in how you construct an arc to include two unequal circles tangentially. Now the previous video was based on construction of an arc to exclude two unequal circles. And I went through the concept of that and what it means. Now this here is just the opposite. The previous one is where the arc excluded the two circles. It means that the two circles were on the outside of this arc, right? Or as we discussed, the arc is just a portion of the circumference of a circle. So if we were to complete the entire circle, these circles that you're given here, R1 and R2, will be on the outside of that arc, and by extension, the circle. Now, this topic here, that the arc will include the unequal circle, it means now that the two circles will be on the inside of that larger circle, or the arc, as we have in the topic, right? So it will be on the inside. And if we're to complete the circle, it will be like this, right? So the two circles are on the inside. So that is why we say it includes the two unequal circles as compared to the other one where the two circles are excluded. All right, so that's just the concept and the idea behind this construction. So the two circles would be on the inside of the arc, basically. Good. So I'll go straight into the steps, and the first one would be to draw the a line that represents the distance between the two centers, and that will be 70 mm. Right, so we draw that line. Of course, we have to label. Right, so we label A and B. Good. And the next step, of course, will be to obtain the two circles. Right, so we use the pair of compasses and we draw the two circles. So the first one being 30 mm. All right, we use that. And again, I'll remind you that accuracy is very important in this particular construction. Right, if you're not accurate, the arc will not touch the circles tangentially. All right, so you need to be precise. The other radius 2 is 20. So we come here and we draw the other circle. Good. Now, like we did for the previous construction, we have to find the center for that arc, which is 60. Right? We have to find the center. So in order to find the distance for the center, in this case, we need to subtract. Right? In the previous video, we had to add. In this case, we subtract. So we're subtracting R1, which is 30, from the arc radius, which is 60. So of course, 30 subtracted from 60 will leave you with 30. All right, so you simply use a length of 30 mm. All right, you use a length of 30 mm and you draw an arc from A. Now what happens? That will give you the same point or the same circle. So what I would have to do there, let me just adjust the arc radius in this case to 80. Right, just so that we have a different point. So subtracting 50 from 80 will leave us, 30 from 80 will leave us with 50. So we'll use a radius of 50 mm. And we'll come here and scribe the arc below. Right, remember in this case, we subtract, we're not adding anymore. Right, we're subtracting. And we draw the arc nice and long because we don't know where the other one will intersect. Right, so we just want to make sure. Good. So we have that force distance, and that was 50. All right, let me just put that measurement here, 50 mm. Now the second one, when you subtract 20 from 80, you will get 60. So we use a measurement of 60 mm, and we go from B and we draw an arc to intersect the previous one that we have here. All right, we intersect. Now we label that intersection as C. All right, so we have that intersection. Now, just to remind you again, this distance here is 50. All right, this distance of this arc is 50. All right, the distance from B to C, however, is 60. All right, now, in order to get the actual arc, we need to use the radius that is given as 80 mm. So we open the pair of compasses now to 80. All right, we open it to 80. We come from C and we draw an arc that's supposed to touch these two circles. And again, you remember I said accuracy is very important. So you might find that because you are not 100% accurate, the arc may not touch, or from time to time it may cut the circumference of the circle. Right, so I'll just attempt this and you would see if mine is accurate or not. All right, so I think, well, both of them missed by a little bit. And looking at the arc, sorry, looking at the point of the compass, it's not directly at C. All right, let me try that now. But this one is a little bit closer. However, one of them would have missed. Right, so that's because I probably did not use accurate measurements while I was constructing this. Right, so you would need to ensure that you use accurate measurements. But basically, that's the step, or those are the steps in how you obtain that arc, right? That would include the two unequal circles. All right, now in terms of variation, the arc may be constructed in the opposite direction, right? So whatever you do at the bottom, you have to do on top. Right, so basically that's the only difference that you might come across for this particular construction. All right, so just remember for this one, you have to subtract, right? You're subtracting R1 from the arc radius, then R2 from the arc radius. And if I'm to explain why we need to subtract, is because when you look at the distance from C to here, that distance is 80. All right. However, in order to find the center, we need to subtract the radius itself from that 80. And that gives us 50 from A and 60 from B. All right. And now when that additional radius from B to this point is added, which is 20, 60 plus 20 will give you back the 80. Likewise, 50 plus the 30 will give you back 80. So once you open to 80, it's supposed to naturally touch these two circles. All right, so that's just the concept behind this construction. All right, so I do hope that this would have helped you and that you'd be able to complete this construction accurately and neatly. All right, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the other video. Goodbye.